The kids are talking. Are you listening? Welcome to part 1 of our 3-part town hall series all about coronavirus. Today, us kids and teens will be sharing how we feel about this pandemic and how it's affecting us. Real truth from real kids and teens. Now, let me introduce you to our host, Shaylin.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Brooklyn. We have real kids and teens telling us their unfiltered, unscripted truth on how this virus has changed their lives.
Meet the kids and teens. We have Brooklyn, Amari, Delilah, Antonio, Zion, Audrey, Mariah, Brady, Michael Michelle, Aiden, CJ, Gabrielle, Violet, and Jada.
I'm so excited to be talking to you guys. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so ready.
Yes.
Let's go.
Get to it. So when you all are watching this on TV, with your parents, how does this make you feel? What's going through your minds? Hands, Brooke. I'm sorry, Brooke, your mic is muted.
Okay. At first, I think it still is really scary to me because it's like, at first, I think we weren't prepared. Like, most people were making a joke out of it and stuff. But now that it's gotten, like, really serious and people are dying every day, it's, like, very scary to think about how we're over here just, chilling inside, watching TV, talking to friends. But there are people who are in the hospital struggling with this virus and people who are trying to stock up because we don't even know what's like the end result is going to be yet because they still don't have a cure as far as we know. And yeah, we just don't really know what's going on in the world. We only know what the news is telling us.
I definitely understand how you feel, and I understand how that can be frightening. Okay, so let's go to Michael Michelle.
At the beginning, it was really, really freaky because, we weren't getting any, news about it. It was a new virus, and we didn't know what to do. But now, if you're following the rules and saying what, they should do, it's not pretty freaky.
Got you. All right, who would like to go next? Any more hands? All right, Violet, would you like to speak on the subject?
Well, I feel like I agree with Michael Michelle, about how if you're following the rules and everything, then nothing's really bad is gonna happen. But I feel like everyone's kind of nervous that their family might get it or something. Mm-hmm. That's a part of what makes everyone a little bit more scared. Because us being kids, we have a strong immune system, so we're not really scared that we're gonna get it, especially with us staying inside. But we're just scared that our family might get it, so that just makes us nervous.
I definitely understand. We're going to do one more person before we move on. Gabrielle?
So I definitely agree that if we do follow the rules and we do wash our hands and we do stay inside, there is going to be a lower chance of us contracting the disease or spreading it to someone else. But it's definitely scary because, people are dying every single day. There are people who are hanging on by threads to life because of this virus, and there isn't a cure for this yet. So it's really terrifying to see drive-by coronavirus checks. When you go outside to walk your dog, everybody's wearing masks. That's something that we've never seen before, so it's definitely scary.
Following up with that, we've had a lot of time in the house, obviously, so far. So I want to know, what types of activities have you done to basically cope with, being in the house? What different hobbies have you picked up on so far? Would CJ like to talk?
Yes. So I've been doing work every day. The schedule is to 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then after that, I play games with my sister and my dad. And then after that, it's time to go to bed.
Yeah. Nice. Who else from the yellow group would like to answer? Yes. Sorry, Amari?
It's Aiden.
Sorry, Aiden. I'm sorry, my apologies.
What we do in the house is like we have family fun night and we watch movies all together and we just get to spend more quality time with each other.
Oh, that's really, really nice. Okay, and Michael Michelle, let me flip the question a little bit. So, in the future, when you're with your children and grandchildren, what is something that you would want to tell the future generation that we did during this time?
Like when we're telling like our children and our grandchildren, we don't want to say, like we just sat in the living room and played games all day. We want to say, we talked to our friends. I mean, we did something like this, like kids talk too. We read a book to children in need. I mean, we donated. We really, really, really want to give back, and that's what we want to do.
We'd love to hear some of the ways you've given back during this pandemic. Let us know in the comments down below.
We didn't really know the seriousness of this virus and the toll and effect that it's taken on everyone. So now, do you think people are overreacting about the virus, or should they be taking it as serious as they are? Yes, Jada?
I feel like this is a very serious deal. I feel like this is a really big deal because people are dying every day, and that's not something you'd say oh my gosh, someone's overreacting. It's something that we need to take into consideration and really be prepared, because this is really serious. People are losing their loved ones, and it's kind of scary at the same time. It's you have to be very cautious, and it's a really tough time.
That does put it into perspective for people who don't take it serious enough. Definitely. Would anybody else? Yes, Gabrielle?
So recently, the governor said to all of the people in California, do not go out of your house unless you absolutely, absolutely, absolutely need it. That means grocery store, that means everything. So we were getting pretty low on essential things that we needed, so we went out to the grocery store, and it was packed with people. But you could tell, they didn't need the stuff. You know what I mean? There were so many people, outside, the pizza place and, our favorite restaurants and things like that. And I was like, no, this is not what the governor just said. They just said if you really need to go outside, you need to, chill otherwise. So it's something that really needs to be taken seriously, and I don't think enough people really are.
That is very true. So now, we have more answers to this. Okay, we're going to go with Violet.
Well, I do see things on social media of people that aren't practicing social distancing and still going to hang out with their friends, which does make me a little nervous because sometimes it's people that I know, so I get nervous that they possibly could get it or spread it to other people. And then I also see people almost bragging on social media, how they've stocked up and everything, and it kind of, I don't know what way it makes me feel, but I just get sad for the people that really need it, that are the older people that are going to stay in their homes and they need to have the resources versus the other people that are just stocking up with it even though they don't need it.
Yes. Since the beginning, the hoarding syndrome has been real and has been having a really negative effect on people.
I don't think it's really good that people are joking around about this, because if we're being told to stay inside, that's obviously how to avoid the coronavirus. And then people want to joke around about it, but then when something happens to one of their family members, they wonder why. But it's the longer you stay inside, the quicker the virus will go down. Because if nobody's outside, there's no way of spreading it.
Yes, we got to flatten the curve, girl.
I know you're 6 feet apart, which is what you should be away from each other if you're outdoors, but you still shouldn't even be hanging around each other, or you just shouldn't even be going outside unless you really have to. That's why you have FaceTime, so that you can watch movies together and stuff like that.
Now we're going to move on to the next question. So for the kids that are on social media, how has it helped or benefited you during this quarantine? Anyone can answer this. I don't know. Anybody's on social media. We're going to go with Miss Jada first.
With social media it also gives us tips it also gives us tips on how to stay safe, and it also gives us like alerts, and it makes us very aware of what's going around, because a lot of people don't have like, I don't know, a lot of people aren't just gonna be like, oh, let me put on the news, you know, they're always on social media and Instagram and all that, so they're scrolling on Instagram and they're like, oh my gosh, like this is what's happening. So it gives us like alerts, and then it also just like kind of like the brighter side of it kind of just makes us like more, gives us like, how should I say this? It makes us more occupied.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're stuck in the house, so we have to make the best of it. So I guess social media is kind of like, you know, like TikTok and all that stuff.
Now, do you have a favorite TikTok type video or trend that's going on with the quarantine?
No, I just love TikTok. It's so much fun. And I hope everybody can elaborate on that, because TikTok is the best.
Gabrielle had a response to that.
Okay, so I recently saw this TikTok. It's like this TikTok trend where people are doing crazy things with their blankets. Like, because you have a blanket wrapped around you all day. And then there was this lady who was running around her house with her blanket, kind of like Batman, going to her fridge. And I thought that was really, really funny. So that probably has to be one of my favorite TikTok trends related to the coronavirus.
It's so funny. Okay, Brookie?
Yeah, I also saw a video like that, but I saw Jason Derulo do it, and it was really hilarious. But another one of my favorite TikTok trends about quarantine is when the one where like, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
Yeah.
After like the videos it makes that sound, it's so funny. But I do think social media really helps also, because again, it keeps you occupied, like Jada said. But it also helps with coronavirus, because, for example, they put up videos of how to survive. Like, they show how you can make masks from home, which is really cool, because if we were to run out of masks, then we obviously need to know how to, you know, make some from home. So I think that's really good too.
Exactly.
Hey everyone, it's Brooklyn, one of the hosts of Kids Talk 2, and this is my mom. And today I'm going to be asking her a few questions. So Mom, what's your favorite social media trend, and how do you think social media has helped us through this whole coronavirus thing?
My favorite social media trend has got to be the Don't Rush Challenge and Baby Girl, Give Me Something. Wait, I shouldn't on the wrong part. Anyway, also, I think social media has helped you guys because it gives you an escape. It gives you another way to get information, also because you're getting information from your peers. Although I'm not sure that all the information that you're getting is good information or if it's factual, but it's a good way to pass along information, stay connected, talk to your peers, get new ideas, and take your mind off everything heavy that's going on. So, yeah, those are my thoughts.
Alrighty, back to the show.
Bye.
All right, Michael, Michelle, do you want to answer this question?
Yes. What people are doing right now, I don't know if your parents or you are watching Mr. DJ D Nice, but he's a DJ that goes on like 12 o'clock, like late, like when you're eating dinner kind of stuff. And my mom has been listening to him, and just like he's helping so many people take their mind off the coronavirus.
Yes, me and my parents love listening to DJ D Nice, especially because, you know, his music and live DJ sets really takes the edge off of how everyone's been feeling about this whole virus and the scariness of it all. And plus, his IG went from like 300,000 followers to 2 million in one day. So that's crazy. Okay, so what's your favorite TikTok trend?
One of my favorite TikToks was what was it? I also like I'm bored in the house, I'm in the house bored. I can't remember the other one, so I'm just gonna say I'm bored in the house.
Okay. So now I have a question following. Oh, okay, go ahead, Violet. Go ahead.
Well, I feel like social media kind of just gives us like a peace of mind during this, because like a lot of us are on social media, so we get to like, it just doesn't like make us bored all day, so we have at least something to do. And then also it like a bunch of the other kids said, it like helps us with the coronavirus, because like one day my mom and I had gone to the store and there was no more hand sanitizer and we had no more, but I saw like a way to make your own hand sanitizer, and I went home and made it, and it works like great. It's just like regular hand sanitizer.
In the aloe vera, in the, what is it called? Rubbing alcohol?
Rubbing alcohol, yeah. And it works great. So it's just like, it kind of helps you out, but it also keeps you like busy all day for some of the day.
Innovative. So, how has this quarantine affected you, the youth, in ways that the adults may not know about? What would you like to tell them how it's affected you? We're going to go with Gabrielle first.
So being quarantined, you're away from people, you're away from your friends, you're away from your school, most of us. So it's not just the fact, oh, you don't get to hang out with your friends. It's the whole social aspect of it. As human beings, we strive to have that social connection with others. So those who do struggle with mental health and depression and anxiety, it can really heighten that at this time. So it's really important that we check on each other and we call people. And, you know, if your family and friends don't have phones or computers or technology, it's really important that you write them. The post office is still open. But yeah, it's a really scary time right now. And this is a really bad time. Just to sum it up, it's a bad time for just everything, the economy, just everything right now.
Yes, I am so glad that you mentioned mental health because there are so many people struggling with this, you know. And at the end of this episode, we will put some numbers and websites to help those who are struggling with mental health at this time. We're going to get Jada next.
Yes, I totally agree with Gabrielle because I'm an extrovert. I love people and I love just like being outside and I love just like having fun, you know, like just like partying up. But also just like being around like my friends and like I love my grandma. So like being around my grandma and my siblings and stuff like that. So just like not being able to like see like all of them is kind of just like weird. And that's why I try being on my phone as much as I can, just like catch up like all my friends because you know like all my friends are extroverts too. So we're kind of just like it's like a really like crazy time. Especially me being an extrovert. So
definitely. We're gonna get one more. Go ahead, Brooke.
I think what Gabrielle said was really good, but yeah, I agree with both of Jada and Gabrielle. And it's especially the part of school, like you're gonna miss out on all the events like graduation and fifth grade school dances and things like that. It's just the thought of that we're gonna miss out on things like that, not being able to see some of our friends. And it's not only that, it's just social distancing. We've never really done anything like this before. So I do understand how it can be hard for some people to like avoid leaving the house and things like that. And I think that the thing that they were doing on the cars, I think that was cool. But then again, it's like if you really actually want to be with your friends, then I do think it's best to stay inside so that this can be just over with.
Now it's time for some advice to the adults.
Stay inside. If everybody stays inside, that can help us and that can help all of them too. So stay inside and wash your hands because that'll cut down on the spread of it and we can get back to normal quicker.
I feel like the adults shouldn't freak out as much in front of the kids because they feel more nervous and then they'll make them freak out and then it's we don't need that.
I definitely think leave the toilet paper alone, first of all. Second of all, what Gabriella said, stay home. And, what you should be stocking up on is, not toilet paper. Hand sanitizer and that kind of stuff. But also, don't let the moms and dads go crazy. Definitely not.
Now, question. So since you guys are kids at home, do you run your parents crazy being at home? Michael, Michelle?
I'm a little crazy. I'm a pinch of crazy, but my mom is crazy.
I think all of our parents are going a little crazy, especially with us being trapped in the house all day.
We like to end our show with thank yous to the essential workers.
So my dad works at FedEx, and so he helps people get their packages who has things that they need so people don't have to go out and get it and don't try to get a risk of sick. So people order it instead so they don't have to go and leave their house.
Like a lot of the others, I want to give a big thank you to everyone that's working like in hospitals and everything, because they're in a way risking their own lives to save ours. And so that's like a really big thing for me. And they're just doing so much for us. Like my mom, she has a client for someone that she works with, and she works as a nurse, and she's not even allowed to be around her kids. Like she's like living in an apartment somewhere else right now so that she doesn't possibly bring it home and bring it to her children or her husband. So like they're all like risking stuff to be like to do things for us, and they don't even know us. So I just want to say thank you to all of them.
First of all, I just like to thank because I have many aunts that are doctors and nurses, and I have some cousins that work at the CDC, and so not just doctors and nurses, but like police officers, firefighters, people who clean up, like janitors, and like the trash people, all the people who like help us, like the delivery people and stuff like that. They have just been so helpful in these hard times, and they definitely have been providing for us. And we sometimes we take it for granted, but we absolutely shouldn't.
Thanks for watching part 1 of our 3-part town hall series all about coronavirus. Hope to see you at part 2 and 3. Bye!
And now for part 2 of our Kids Talk 2 Town Hall on coronavirus.
So I know personally for me, I'm a senior in high school, right? And like Brooke was saying, there's a lot of different things that, I get to miss out on, like prom or graduation. But before I left for school, my teachers thought that we would be back to do all of that stuff. So I want to know, for the kids who are not homeschooled, before you left for school, did you know it was going to be like this? How did it feel? Was it eerie? Was it weird? How did it feel? Did your teachers prepare you for it? We're going to go with Violet first.
So I'm in 8th grade, so I'm graduating this year. So it's kind of like, and I don't go to like a public school. I go to a private school. So a lot of these kids I'm not going to be in high school with. So it's kind of sad to leave them, especially because we got out on a Friday, and then I had gone to school that Thursday, but then the Friday I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't go to school. So I didn't get to see my friends so if it is the last day, I didn't even get to see my friends knowing it was. So that kind of sucks. And we have a trip to Six Flags that we do, and we have a dance that we have, and we just don't get to do those.
How was that transition from going, for you, Brooke, just a follow-up question really quick, how was that transition from going from being in regular school to then being homeschooled? How did you feel about that?
Well, I was planning on being homeschooled anyway because I was acting a lot. I was doing a lot of things involving acting. So I guess this is kind of cool because it's preparing me for homeschooled. Well, I'm already technically homeschooled now, but it's kind of preparing me for what I would be doing. And since me and Bray are best friends and we FaceTime each other every day, he tells me what you do on homeschool, and he helps me with homeschool. So I'm kind of figuring out how to cope with it. So it's not as bad. And especially because when we go on Zoom, you can be with your class, and the teacher does some classes. So that's pretty cool too. But I am upset about the fact that it's spring break and we still have to do work. It's why can't we have a break? So all we've been through, I think we deserve a break. But yeah.
Girl, well, they gave us a break, all right. So now we're going to say goodbye to our beautiful, beautiful friend, Jada. Do you have any last words you would like to say to the people?
Yes. I just want to make sure you guys are staying safe, staying positive, and remember we're all in this together. And yeah, and wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Thank you, Jada.
Of course. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Zion, and I'm one of the hosts of Kids Talk 2. And my mom has a PSA.
Most schools have shut down for the remainder of the school year. That means no graduations or virtual graduations, no senior proms or 8th grade dances. All the more reason for people to
Stay home, stay safe, and flatten the curve. Now, back to the show.
All right, so the last question we asked was, were you guys prepared to leave school? How did your teachers handle it? And did you think that the coronavirus would take a toll on your life like this? So who would like to answer next? You got to unmute your mic, sweetie. There you go. Boom.
So I wasn't really prepared because, kind of like Violet, I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't go to school on Friday.
Aww.
But I feel like I'd be more prepared if I knew the things that I knew now back then when they first were like, by the way, we're not going to have school for like 2 weeks. And after the second week, I thought we were going to go back, but then they were like, oh yeah, they extended it. So I don't know. I got kind of
like antsy.
Yeah.
And we're going to get 2 last ones. Okay. So we're going to get 3 last responses for this question. So first we're going to go with Amari.
I wasn't prepared because I had a competition coming up.
Aww.
And that had to do with school. And before they said it was going to be 2 weeks. And then they said that they were going to extend it. So then now I'm thinking, am I going to be able to compete?
Yeah. I feel that. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's okay. It'll get better. Now we're going to go with Violet. I'm sorry, we're not going to go with Violet. I believe that we are having 3 new people join the call.
Welcome, Wozie, Zaya, and Krista.
All right. So, guys, just so you know, the question so far that we are asking now, which Violet is about to answer, is before leaving school, were you prepared for how the coronavirus would basically take a toll on your life? Did the teachers prepare you for this? And how did you basically adapt to the new normal? So we are going to go with Violet.
So I feel like not only were we not prepared, I feel like our parents weren't prepared because I have 4 siblings and like my Delilah's my sister. So like me and her have like our own phones and like our computers and everything, so we get our work done. But then like my parents are divorced, so like my dad's not always there to like help my mom, and my mom's not always there to help my dad with the work. So like my 2 younger brothers, like my mom can't really like teach them everything because they have like textbooks that they have to do in. And so my mom's because she also works from her like computer during the day, so like she can't really teach my younger brothers like math or science because she doesn't like remember those things. And then like my older brother who's in high school, like he does his work himself, but like sometimes he needs help, and my mom and dad can't always don't always have the resources to help him. So I feel like not only were we not prepared, our parents were like really not prepared too.
It's me, Aiden, one of the Kids Talk 2 hosts. I'm going to ask my mom if she was ready for homeschool. Mom, were you ready for homeschool?
Hold on, babe, not right now.
Mom!
Hold on, I gotta put together your homeschool stuff.
I gotta go to 5 different sites and get your math, your reading, your writing assignments, and then I gotta do the same for your brother and your sister. I gotta relearn study materials and study myself so I can then teach you guys. And
2 hours later.
Then I gotta put together breakfast and lunch, so I guess I'll be the cafeteria lady. Then I gotta plan activities for gym.
You know what? This is becoming too much. I'm turning in my resignation. I quit.
Mom! Back to the show.
Next, we're going to go to Zion.
So, like, I know my 6th grade class, we were, like, kind of prepared with our teachers because, like, before we got out that weekend, they gave us a packet for the next week just in case we were out. And so it turned out we were out, and it also infected us because, like, boys volleyball trials had just came, and some of us had just made the team like me. And so, like, we were really looking forward to the season. And so then this happened, and, yeah.
Definitely. We're going to get one more person for this, Miss Mariah.
I agree with Violet also, how our parents weren't prepared for this. I have 2 younger siblings. One is 2 years old and the other one is 4. And they're always like messing with each other, always crying for like no reason. But they're always making messes everywhere. And my little sibling's father doesn't live with us, so he can't like help out with my mom to tell them no when my mom's like doing school. She does like online school too. So me and my twin brother, we all have to like help out and like watch them while she's doing stuff like that. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I want to know, have you guys ever thought about the people, I think Brooklyn said in the beginning of the chat, the people who basically do not have a home, who are out on the street, you know, who, if you think about it, like the homeless people, you know, when there's not anybody to interact with, no one to, you know, donate or to spare change or, you know, to help out, to give any food. So how do you guys think of that? How do you guys feel about that? And we're going to start with Brooklyn.
I do think we definitely need to take that into consideration and get these people some shelter, because if that becomes like an even bigger issue, that could be how more people get the virus. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And can we hear from our 3 new callers? Would any 3 of you like to speak on the situation? You know,
Yeah. I think that it's really, really unfortunate there are people that are out on the street, and it's something that I didn't really think about. Everybody was mainly thinking about, oh, we have to stay home. And I was thinking about how people who really don't have homes, and it's crazy how you were saying there's no people to help give money or to feed or help give food so that they can eat and things like that. And then also with the weather and things like that, it's been colder outside and raining, and there's no shelter, there's no place for them to go, which is crazy to me. And like Brooklyn was saying, people are still getting sick because they're outside and exposed to all the germs, which is really, really unfortunate.
We're going to have one more person answer this question. We're going to go with Brady.
It could be a way that the coronavirus could spread because, again, they don't have any shelter to go to. And obviously when people have to go out to go get groceries, or just the people who aren't following the rules, they could like cross paths with the homeless, and the homeless could maybe have like the virus, but they don't know it, you know? So it could spread to the person, and they don't really have a way to know if they have it, you know?
Exactly. I'm so sorry. We're going to have to go to the next question, but actually, I'll get Gabrielle to answer this next question. So first question is, are you homeschooled, Gabrielle? You are homeschooled. So even homeschooled or not, I'm sure that you love to hang out with your friends before this, but now how do you keep in contact with them knowing that, you know, you're in quarantine? Do you do duets on TikTok, or how to do that?
Definitely. With this whole coronavirus thing, I've definitely missed a lot of birthdays. So I've been using things like Zoom and group FaceTime to keep in touch with others. I have been getting a lot of duets on my TikTok. So I've been trying to put up content where other people can duet me if they don't have a TikTok partner. If they can't, you know, dance with their friends, they can maybe duet my TikTok and dance with me. But yeah, I've been really just trying to hang in there. I've been FaceTiming my family, FaceTiming my friends. I've been trying to go live on Instagram and just talk to kids and see how they're doing. But yeah, a lot of technology has really helped out with that.
Yes. Can you raise your hand, everyone? Really quick, I'm going to call on Brooklyn next, but raise your hand, everyone, if you are not homeschooled, if you go to regular school. Oh, wow, that's majority. Okay. All right, cool. So we're going to go to Brooklyn next, and we're going to go to Aiden and Amari, and then I'll decide from there because I forgot who's after that.
I just wanted to point out how I thought because I saw Gabrielle's TikTok and I saw how she was posting a bunch of people duetting her in her story, and I thought that was really cool because I know a lot of people look up to her, and I thought it was really cool because I don't know, I just thought it was so cool. I have to stop saying cool, but the fact that these kids are able to like do that, like the one where it's like gonna freak out, right? I just thought that was really nice.
So I need to see you guys do a duet on TikTok, okay? That's what I need to see.
Need a freak, not why. Need a freak, not why. Need a freak, not why. Why?
Do you still keep in contact with your friends, or has it been pretty hard to do so?
No, it's been easy because they mainly answer because they have nothing else to do. So yeah.
All right.
It's hard because usually on quarantine when my friends are on break, they're usually all up on their phones. When I try to FaceTime them, they don't really answer. I'm thinking like something happened to them, or then they're just ignoring my calls, and then I start to just get bored sometimes.
Got you. Okay, so now I'd like to hear from you, Michael Michelle. How do you stay connected with your friends and family?
So, my family, it's weird saying this, but I actually thank coronavirus for, like staying up later and, spending time with my family and, playing board games and, I play like drawing contests and, we play games together, like me and my friends.
Nice. That is so amazing. I really, really love that. We're going to get a couple more people on this. Let's get Violet.
So it does get a little hard not seeing my friends, but some of my friends have done stuff like one of my brother's little friends, he had his birthday during like the quarantine. So what they did was they had a bunch of people like drive outside their house during like a time and like honk for him and everything to say happy birthday. And it was really fun and it was cute to see like everyone doing that because he had a lot of people there to go see him. But then I have other friends that like have birthdays during this, so I'm gonna be like sad that I won't be able to be with them for their birthday. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's like during online school, like I'll FaceTime my friends and like do the school with them just so I'm not as bored. But sometimes it gets kind of hard. So, yeah.
All right, now we're going to ask Zaya and Rosie, how do you guys stay connected with your friends that you saw every day at school, but now you can't see anymore in person? How do you stay connected with them?
So, well, I just have Zoom calls with them for my school, like my schoolwork things, like I don't know. I just have Zoom calls with them.
I don't really stay connected with them that much because like I don't really have like a device to like contact them because the only way I could ever contact them is on like Zoom.
And that's how we're all talking to each other here now, so that's pretty cool.
Now it's time for some advice to the adults.
The question is, what is something that you would like to tell the adults that can help you better handle the situation? Violet?
But I feel like one thing they could do is just like try and keep the kids like out of most of it because like they should be focusing on like things like schoolwork and like try to keep them out of like the news and everything because they definitely need to be like, you have to be telling them to like wash their hands before a meal, wash their hands when they come back inside, those things. But you don't need to constantly be like telling them all the news about it because I feel like they just get more stressed and it's not really a thing that kids really want to deal with. And it's more like of an adult subject, so.
Okay, so basically keep you guys on a need-to-know basis. Okay, gotcha.
Stop touching the toilet paper and like just tell them to stop like freaking out and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, like the adults to stop freaking out?
Yeah, like.
Yeah. I feel that. Delilah.
Okay, so kind of like Michael Michelle said. Like, in my own words, I would say, like, stop trying to make the kids the parents, because I feel like the parents are, like, kind of freaking out. Maybe, like, they're stocking up too much, and the kids are kind of, like, trying to calm the parents down instead of vice versa. So, yeah, I'll just agree with her.
Turning the kids into the parents.
We like to end our show with thank yous to the essential workers.
So I would like to get some personal thank yous. Let's start with Gabrielle. What would you like to say to all of the first responders?
Well, my aunt is a nurse, so this really hits home for me with all of the first responders really being on the front lines of this gigantic monster. So I just want to say thank you for being outside when we don't have to be. So just a big thank you.
Thank you so much. And my sister's also a nurse, so I've seen how it works in her head and everything, and it's really affected her. And she's like, oh, I got to go back and like test people, and I'm scared. But some big round of applause to them.
I want to give a big thank you to everybody who worked at the hospital, because my mom also works at the hospital, and I always get nervous when she goes to work because there's so many germs there. And I know sometimes they usually handle corona patients differently. They try to keep them away from the rest of the patients, obviously, but it still just makes me nervous because like I want to make sure that she is safe.
I feel like we should say thank you to nurses like them too, but also like the people that work at the stores, like, because like they're technically risking their lives for the people that go into the stores.
So I definitely agree with Audrey that we should be thanking the people that work in restaurants and stores that are serving people who can't necessarily get food like on their own, I guess. But also I want to thank like scientists kind of, and like the people who are working to find like cures or at home like testing, because there are some people, like there are some doctors and people like that will go to like patients with coronavirus and will like try to make at home testing, so it makes it easier, because a lot of people don't have access to testing, and it's harder to know if you don't get tested. So
exactly. Thank you.
Thanks for watching part 2 of our 3-part series on coronavirus. Make sure you tune in for part 3.
And now it's time for part 3 of the Kids Talk 2 Town Hall on coronavirus.
Okay, so now I want to know, do you all know anyone who has contracted the virus? We're going to go to Delilah for this one.
Okay. Well, I just recently heard from like my mom that one of my one of my uncles is in the hospital right now because he has been infected with the virus. And it's kind of like before coronavirus like got to America and stuff, I didn't really understand it. But now that it's like a part of my family, like a part of like kind of like my daily life, I now understand it more. And it's harder because normally if it doesn't like affect you or your family, I feel like it's harder to understand how like hard it must be. But yeah.
Thank you so much. We're going to go to Zion next and then CJ.
My godmother's grandmother passed away from it not too long ago, like a week.
I'm sorry.
What do you know her name?
If
you don't, I'll just keep her in my prayers. I'll just remember that.
Thank you.
Of course. And then was it CJ who had his guess? Go ahead, CJ.
My grandmother's sister died from the virus in New York. So, it was sad.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm keeping your family in my prayers as well. And Michael, Michelle, then we're going to go to Mariah.
So this is really hard for me because first of all, it's not in my family, but it is in my publicist. She lost 2 of her aunts, so like 2, and they both died alone. So it's really hard just to think about that, and especially it's not in my family. So, but my family has always kept her in our prayers. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay, and then next, who else would anybody can get all answers? Gabrielle, go ahead.
So personally, I haven't had anyone in my own family that's had the coronavirus, but I do have a very, very, very good friend of mine whose aunt, I believe it was his aunt, whose aunt contracted the virus, and I immediately called him, and he was kind of messed up about it, but he didn't really want to show it. But since then, I've heard that she's doing a little bit better. She didn't have a really, really bad case of it, but it was definitely a scary moment.
I definitely understand that. Yes, Mariah, go ahead.
This morning, my grandfather found out that his cousin got diagnosed with the coronavirus, and so we've just been comforting him because he's been really sad about it, and he hasn't seen her in a long time. So we've been comforting him because he's really sad.
I definitely understand that. Thank you so much for sharing that. One thing I know is that even if we're not directly affected by it, we can still feel others' pain through it, and it's really sad because, it's a new virus, not many people know about it, that's really the fear in it all, not knowing, exactly what it attacks and everything like that. So it is just a really sad case when we lose loved ones, or just hearing about people who loses loved ones and their lives being cut short by this virus. So next, I would like to move to the next question. So although, we've had time, I'm sure as you can see my nails are messed up. The first thing I'll be doing is going to the nail salon. So one thing that you guys will be doing as soon as this quarantine is lifted, they say, go outside, boom. Well, there's a lot of hands for this one. Let's get Krista. Is that it? Krista, go ahead.
For me, the first thing that I would want to do is just go and see my family.
The first thing I'm going to do is get a haircut because my hair is just not it right now.
Go see my cousins and my friends.
Like a big sleepover with some of my friends, like Amari and Aiden or Brady, like people that I really miss.
Go see my friends and my family.
Yeah, I would be going to play sports because, I love sports and the outdoors, too.
Work is definitely how I breathe, and I love that. So I definitely have to work.
Friends, and take my dog to the groomer. His fur grows really, really quickly. So right now he kind of looks like a sheepdog. So we're trying to figure out what's going on with that. I'm looking at him right now on the couch. He's kind of staring me down.
It's like, go to a restaurant. I don't know. I just want to go to a restaurant, and just eat, somewhere that's not my house.
My grandma too, because of this I haven't been able to see her, and I miss her a lot. So
and we get a new house, we get a puppy dog.
Six Flags. Go to Florida because my mom, she planned on taking me and my brother to Florida for our birthday, but we can't do that.
But a lot of people mentioned that they'd like to see their friends, and I'm not saying I wouldn't like to see them, but what I would like to do most, and I don't know if everyone would agree with this, but probably to just be just to go outside and kind of be around people, but not have to avoid them, kind of just to know for myself that I can everything is back to normal, I guess.
Also, yeah, I think it's gonna be kind of hard to adjust to being outside because even if they say quarantine is over, But it doesn't mean the virus isn't still out there, so it's going to be still kind of scary. I'm going to be very paranoid being outside, but we'll adjust to it.
Now it's time for some advice to the adults.
I feel like the kids should know about it and should know to stay safe and why we can't hang out with our friends. Unless it's like something that we want to know. I feel like we shouldn't like have to like know every single thing about it, like how many deaths there are, or like just like all the bad stuff. I feel like we should just know most of the things that we need to know, not like the bad stuff that we don't necessarily need to know.
Exactly. Thank you. And Brooke?
I think what we can do, like what the parents can do, is I notice how everybody's talking about how they want their parents to keep them away from the bad things. So what we can do by doing that is this is a good time to spend more time with your kids, because people a lot of times are busy because now people are taking time off of work because of, quarantine and stuff, and kids are out of school. So this is a good time to spend time with your kids. And that could distract them from everything else that's going on in the world.
That's really good. Spending time with you guys, really learning about what you guys like. We're going to have Antonio close us off.
Something for adults, like the teachers, I would like them to stop assigning so much stuff, because they assign more than what we would actually do in school. And it's pretty stressful with how many assignments. And then when you don't do an assignment, they have private message you about how you didn't do that assignment. And you're trying to do the assignment, but like you have so many assignments to do.
Definitely. I received a couple of those messages. All right, you all. So last, we would just like to give a big thank you for the responders, all of the essential workers, all of the people that, on the front line working at, the hospitals, the doctors, the people who are, doing their best that they can to really help everyone that's affected by this virus, the Amazon workers, the people who are delivering your different packages.
Hi, I'm Brady, one of the hosts of Kids Talk 2, and I'm here with my dad, and I'm going to be asking him, how have you guys been helping out the first responders?
Well, how have we been helping out? Well, we own a restaurant in Michigan, Monroe, Michigan, and just this afternoon, we fed almost 100 frontline responders at the hospital. We've been feeding every Tuesday. We feed people at the hospital, the fire department, the EMS, which are the ambulance drivers, and then also the police department. And so to date, so far, we've probably fed close to, and then a hospital emergency room down in Oregon, Ohio. We fed them on last Sunday. So to date, we've probably fed maybe 300 meals we've put out to frontline responders so far. We are working very hard, but you know what? I'm a chef. And so when all this started, we thought, if we could at least get them a hot meal, because a lot of them are working long, tireless hours. So if we can at least get them a hot meal, then we felt like we were doing our part. Even though we're closed and we're only open for takeout and delivery, which is very difficult, especially for a restaurant our size, because we're a very large operation. But, we've had to switch gears, and it's been fun. It's been good.
Wow. Well, thank you, Dad. Make sure you all are staying home, staying safe, washing your hands, and practicing social distancing.
I just want to thank mailmans and my aunties works for the mail, and I thank them for going outside and giving us our mail.
I want to thank all the people who spend the time making the masks for the people who don't have any and that need the materials to try to survive the virus.
I would like to thank my mom, because she goes to elderly people's homes to help them out when they can't do stuff by themselves. She helps them out. She makes sure they don't go out for themselves, so because most of people, they have higher chance of getting the coronavirus. So she helps them and stuff. So yeah.
Real quickly, I just really like to thank everyone who is working at the hospitals, because this is a scary time for them, because they have to go to work every single day with like thousands of new patients with COVID-19, and they could end up getting it. And I saw, I'm sure plenty of the people who are nurses and work at hospitals have gotten it. And it's just very scary for them, I feel like, because they're not just having patients with COVID-19, but they also have patients who don't have it that they have to take care of also. So I feel like it's very scary for them during this time.
Thank you for all the responders. Thank you for the ambulance. Thank you for the nurses. Thank you for the ambulance getting to the hospital quickly as they can, and they're saving lives every day for us.
Yeah, I would like to thank all the hospital workers that have, so if they're trying to cure the people that have the coronavirus, they have to get near the people and they might catch the coronavirus. So basically, they're risking their lives.
That is very true, and that is why we appreciate all of our essential workers. We thank you guys. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much for that. And that concludes this episode of Kids Talk 2. I just want to thank all of the participants. Can everyone unmute their mic and just give a... This has been a very great talk, a very informational talk about COVID-19, and it was really nice to hear from the youth and how it really affects you all. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this special town hall edition of Kids Talk 2 about coronavirus. I've been your host, Shaylin, and make sure to follow Kids Talk 2 on all social media platforms. That's at Kids Talk 2, Kids with a Z.